Beatrice. In the quiet little town of Maple Grove, where life moved gently like the breeze through the tall pines, lived two inseparable souls, David and Beatrice. They were both just 13, still learning how the world worked, still unsure of the changes that came with growing up. But one thing they knew for sure was that they loved being together. Whether it was walking home from school, reading the same books, or laughing over nothing in particular, their days often began and ended in each other's company. They called themselves bosom friends, a term Beatrice had picked up from an old novel. It sounded old-fashioned, but it felt right. No one understood David like Beatrice did, and no one could read Beatrice like David could. Still, neither of them could name the soft ache they felt when they had to part for the day. It wasn't quite sadness, and it wasn't quite longing. It was just something. One cloudless evening in early spring, David tapped on Beatrice's window well past bedtime. She wasn't surprised to see him. He had a habit of doing things like this, small rebellions that made the night feel alive. She slipped on her jacket, careful not to wake her parents, and together they tiptoed out to the edge of town, where the fields stretched wide and the sky opened like a storybook. They lay down in the grass, shoulder to shoulder, gazing up at a sky so clear it felt like it could swallow them whole. The stars blinked quietly above, a million tiny questions waiting to be answered. Do you ever wonder if we're supposed to feel something more? Beatrice asked suddenly, her voice barely louder than the whisper of wind. David turned his head slightly toward her, though his eyes stayed fixed on the stars. More than what? More than friends, she said. Like the way people in books do. Like love. David was quiet for a moment. The kind of silence that didn't need to be filled, but still felt heavy. I don't know, he said honestly. I think about it too. But then I think maybe this, what we have, is already love. Just a different kind. A beginning kind. Beatrice smiled softly, not looking at him, but feeling everything in her chest tighten in that beautiful, aching way. A beginning. Kind, she repeated. I like that. He reached over and laced his fingers with hers. It wasn't dramatic or clumsy or movie-like. It was simple and warm, like how the stars always showed up, even if no one else noticed. They lay there, for a long time, talking about the future, about things like high school, constellations, and whether the moon ever got lonely. They didn't need to label the strange, wonderful thing between them. Not yet. Maybe not ever. It was enough to know that they had this moment, under the wide open sky, with stars that sparkled like secrets, and hearts that were still learning how to beat in the presence of something bigger than either of them could explain. As the night gave way to the soft promise of dawn, David turned to Beatrice and whispered, "Whatever this is, I'm glad it's with you." And that was all they needed. A friendship laced with something too gentle to name, too powerful to ignore. Just a beginning kind of love under the stars.